Hi everyone and welcome to Accounting in Excel. My name is Melrose. Before we get started, let me tell you that this is a part series of our tutorial, Full Accounting Cycle Explained. The last tutorial, we learned how to structure and design our chart of accounts, the backbone of our financial reporting. Today, we are going to learn how we record our transactions from our specialized journals. But before that, let us first understand the 5 common specialized journals in bookkeeping. First item on our list is a sales journal, where we track our sales on credit. Next is the purchase journal, where we track all our purchases on credit. Notice that these two journals track transactions on credit. Next item on our list is the cash receipt journal, where we record all transactions where receipt of cash is involved. So the cash received from sales is also recorded on this journal. Next is our cash disbursement journal, where all the cash disbursements are recorded. So cash payments to purchases are recorded here. So these two journals track cash transactions. So if our transaction does not fall to the 4 books of accounts, then it is recorded to the general journal. Now let's go back to our Excel sheet. So in this sheet, you could see I added some data to help us navigate and understand how does a sales journal work. I divided the sheet into 3 parts. On the left is our directory, where we can add and code our customers. In the middle is our sales journal table, where we will record our daily transactions. And on your right is where we will summarize our monthly report that we will use to post to our general ledger table. Now let's start with our customer directory section. In this section, we will try to add an ID right next to our customer name that will be a source of our PR or post reference on the sales journal table. We wanted to have an alphanumeric code that increments every time we added a customer. But before that, let me just unhide my formula and my headings. So let us use the letters AR to represent our code as accounts receivable, followed by text function, and followed by row to count the rows, -3, and followed by the format of our numbers, 0, 0, 0. Let's try to drag the formula down, and look, it's incrementing. Now let's try to add a customer. And it did not increment automatically, so let's just copy. Let's try to turn this area into a table. We wanted to increment the numbers automatically as soon as we added a customer. So let's try to convert this into a table cust. Rename that and let's see if it's worked. ABC company, and now it's incrementing on its own. Now on this cell, we wanted to have a data validation list where we can select all the customers from our table customer. Let me just do a quick formatting here. I realized my header might have a problem later on when we convert this area into a table. Now let's go ahead and do our data validation. Now let's go to our data tab. For the allow, click list. And for the source, equals indirect, open brackets, zero sign, table cust for the table that we created earlier, open brackets, for column, cust name, close bracket, zero sign, and close parentheses. Now we have all the list of our customers. Now let's try if it's dynamically updated. Now let's try to add a customer here. Let's try 123 corporation randomly. It incremented. Let's try to check our data validation. Yes, and it did dynamically update it. Let me just quickly fill the invoice number column, 10001. Now we are ready to fill the formula for our post reference column. You can use VLOOKUP to do this, but personally I like to use index match function. First, let's refer to the function index equals index, our table cust, open brackets for column cost ID, because that's what we wanted to return on our cell. Match our account name for the lookup value, and for the lookup array, table cost, and the column cost name. You wanted a exact match for that, so select 0 and hit enter. Let's go ahead and test the formulas. Let's change the accounts, and everything is working. Oh look, I think I've made a mistake on the row number here on the table customer. Let me just quickly change that into 4, since we are in the 5th row. Now we have AR001, and yes, it's still working. Let me just quickly fill numbers on these columns. Let me quickly convert this range into a table. Let's name this table sales journal. Let me speed up the video a little bit since you know how to convert your range into a table. Let me just add some data on our table here so we can use this data to our summary. And on the very top of our table, we will have a sanity checker that will calculate our column if the entries are balanced. To do that, let's use the function sum. Open brackets, table, column accounts receivable, less the table column sales tax payable. Close the bracket, table sales journal, open brackets, sales, close the bracket and hit enter. If a number appears, then our entry is not balanced. Let me add another item here below. And let's check if our formulas are working. Seems to be working well. Let's just fill everything up. Let's adjust the size of our column here. So on this area, we wanted to have the summary of our table sales journal every end of the month. So let's go ahead and copy the header from our table sales journal. Let's now prepare our summary area. For the sake of formula, let me just change the formats of the dates. So if our sales journal area captures our daily sales transaction, our summary area captures the totals per month of each column. In this case, our accounts receivable. In order to do that, let's use the formula SUMIF. So let's SUMIF our table sales journal with the sum range accounts receivable, followed by our criteria range, table sales journal column date, and for our criteria is greater than or equal to, and with our date on M4, let's lock that, followed by our criteria range, table, date for the column, comma, and less than or equal to, and end of the month of our date, followed by our month for 0, and hit enter. So for January, we have an amount of 10,000, which is correct, followed by our February, which is accounts receivable of 600, and on March, we have 800. Let's copy the formula and let's paste it on our column sales tax payable, and let's just change the column and others should be the same. Copy again the formula and let's paste it on our column sales credit, and let's just change the sum range for sales. Hit enter and drag the formula down. So looking at our sales journal right now, you may have an idea why specialized journals are maintained. One good reason is to reduce the number of ledger entries, because its main purpose is to summarize similar transactions, so only totals are posted on our general ledger. So our sales journal is ready. Feel free to customize the design if you wanted. You can use another sheet for the customer directory or for the summary, whatever makes you comfortable. And for our next video, we will discuss the purchase journal. Stay tuned and hit the like button so you can get updates for our next video.